Hi everybody, it's Ronnie with WIPandChain, and I got a cute little fun project here for you guys today. This is the reversible octopus. He is happy, and then if you turn him inside out, then he can be sad. It is a nice way for children to express their feelings. If something's going on for children that are not as verbal or non-verbal or autistic children, I will recommend, if you are making these for young children, I use eyes, but I would recommend embroidering them. If you're giving this to young children, I would never recommend these eyes because they could be a choking hazard. Okay, but nonetheless, you can do your embroidered eyes. It is a fun project, and it could be a great fun gift to give to somebody. So let's dive into this fun project. Now this one, I used yarn that I had laying around. I'm pretty sure this orange is Red Heart. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But I do know for a fact this sparkly one is Hobby Lobby yarn. I can always tell the Hobby Lobby, but as you can see, I don't have the labels to tell you the names of the colors. All right, so you will need a 5mm crochet hook. You will need some darning needles, and if you're choosing to use the eyes, you will need some eyes, and I would recommend the stitch marker and 2 different colors of yarn. Now you can go any color that you want. If you have it, you can use it. You can use dark colors, you can use light colors, you can use pastels, you can use rainbow, you can use multicolor, and this probably would work in the thicker yarns. You would just have to adjust your hook according, and doing that might make the project bigger, or if you use a thinner yarn, you can make it smaller. So here we are. All right, so I am going to get started with just some green yarn that I have laying around. And you will need a stitch marker because we are working in the rounds. If you don't know what the rounds, that expression means, it means when you're working on a circular pattern, excuse me, working on a circular pattern, you would slip stitch to your first stitch. When you're working in rounds, you never slip stitch to your beginning stitch. You just keep working in the rounds. And what's nice about this, you can't see that little difference in working in the rounds because of how you finish off the project. It's just not seen, which is nice. So to get started on this fun, cute project, magic circle, please. If you are not comfortable doing a magic circle, chain 3, slip stitch to the first stitch, and I want you to put in 6 single crochets. But if you're willing to try to learn the magic circle, I'm pretty sure I have 2 different tutorials, and if you cannot find them, please come follow us on Facebook, and we will help you with that. If I have to do I shouldn't say you have to, I enjoy doing them. So if you'd like me to do a live to help maybe you learn, I'd be more than happy to. So we're going to crochet 6 single crochets in your circle. Okay. Now with me, I never pull this completely tight until I'm a couple rows out, just so it's easier to see your stitches. All right, so the second round, we're going to put 2 single crochets in every single stitch. Now this is where I start using my stitch marker. So there's my first of my 2 in the first stitch. Then 2 in every stitch. So that will end us up at 12 stitches. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now I will be comfortable in pulling this shut. Okay. There she is. So the next round, the first stitch, do 1 normal single crochet in there. And in the next stitch, you will put 2 single crochets. And then 1, and then 2. That is your pattern repeat for this round. So it's 1, and then 2. Okay, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. All right. Next round, you put 1 in. I do advise you to, if you want to count without your stitch marker, that is your choice. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and then 2. Again, 1, 1, and 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, and 2. I hope by me going through the whole round on some of these rounds does help you. Please, if I'm ever going too fast, which I've never been called a fast crocheter, but if I am, or I'm speaking too fast, or you don't understand something, you can message on this video, or you can come find us on Facebook. Maggie is very, very good at seeing all comments and questions, and we do help you as much as we are able to. So that's 1 and 1 and 2. So for this pattern, stitch counts do matter, just because of doing the legs of the octopus. Okay, and 2. Okay. The next round is 1, and put your stitch marker back in. And 1 in the second one, 1 in the third, and then 2 in the fourth. 1, 1, 1, and then 2. 1, 1, and 1, and then 2. Okay, I'll see you at the end of this round. Okay. Next round, will be 1 in the first one. One in the next, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth, and then 2 in the fifth stitch. It's 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2. So 1 each in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2. 1 and 2. 1 in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2. And continue with that, okay? And your last stitch, you should end with 2. And this next row is your last increase. So, put 1 in. One in the first 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you increase, and then 1 in 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you increase. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you increase. 1, 3, 4, and 5, and then you increase. All right. This is what your project should look like so far up to now. Okay? Not doing any more increasing. But for 7 rows now, I want you to match stitch for stitch. 7 rows. And I already have one prepared. It's in a different color, but it's still the same thing. This is what it'll look like after you do your 7 rows. It's going to look like a little bowl. Okay. So, after the 7 rows, we still need our stitch marker, guys. Don't get rid of that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a decrease. So I want you to put in 1 stitch in the next 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to do a decrease. Now, I'm doing an invisible decrease because I just don't want it noticeable on this project. You can do a standard decrease, but if you want to do the one I'm doing, you take your hook you go in the front loop only. Then you go over to the next stitch and you do the same, front loop only. Wrap your hook, come through both, then you wrap it again, and then you go through 2. Okay, and then 5 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you do a decrease. Then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you should end on a decrease. Okay, we're going to do one more decrease row. All right. So put a single stitch in your first stitch and put your stitch marker back in. Okay. And put a regular stitch in the next 6. You did 1, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then do a decrease. And again 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then do a decrease. And 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and a decrease. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you should end on a decrease. And I just want to show you, when you're doing the invisible, you can't really see where I did the decrease. So now's a good time if you want to take a minute to tie in your loose end. Okay. And also, you can take your stitch marker out now. All right. Now we're going to start making his little legs. So I want you to put in a single crochet in the next stitch. Then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the second chain from the hook all the way down, so it'll be 5. I want you to put 5 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then that same stitch that you came out of, you go in there, do a slip stitch. Okay, now 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you can go all the way down, second chain to hook, and put in 5 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you slip stitch into your first stitch. Okay, now again, 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 5 single crochets going all the way down, second chain from the hook. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then slip stitch in that same stitch. And now 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you do your 5 single crochets, second chain from the hook. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you slip stitch into that same stitch you came out of. And then 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'll meet you when you come around. Now, after you finish, then I want you to jump to that center stitch and do a slip stitch. And if your counts are right, you should have 8 beginnings of his little legs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do half double stitches. We're going to do the 5 stitches going up to one side of his leg, which will be just pulling up one piece of yarn because that's the end. And at the very top in that tiny little loop, you'll put 3 half doubles, and then you'll go down again doing 5, and then we'll slip stitch into the middle. So here we go. Half double on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then in this tiny little loop where you skipped a chain, put 3 half doubles. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then you'll go down 5. And you should be able to find these. These are the top of the stitches. 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Then you find your center stitch right here and your slip stitch. Then we go back up the next leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in that tiny little loop up here, put 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then you do 5 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you slip stitch. Okay. All right, do that all the way around. Okay, let's do the last one together. I put in my slip stitch. And I go over here. And I put in 5 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 3 on top. How you guys making out on it? So far so good. 2 and 3, and then 5 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you slip stitch to the center. Now, one of these, you have to make 2 of these. So one of them I want you to keep the yarn attached to, if that's okay. But right now I'm going to show you, we have to put the eyes on them. And here are my eyes. Now, for the other one that I made, to go with this one, I put in green eyes. I'm not sure if I like it on the dark green, but it is what it is. So I'm going to take 2 more green eyes, and I'm going to take 2 backs. 1 and 2. Okay. Then I always close these because these can get everywhere. And let me reiterate. If you are giving these to a young child, these eyes are choking hazards. They're really important. Please embroidery your eyes if these are being given to a young child or to someone that you think, anybody. There's some adults that are struggling, and if you think they're going to put it in their mouth, just embroidery the eyes on it because it'll keep everybody safe, and that's my ultimate goal. So what we're going to do, you find the top of your octopus, and I want you to count down 10 rows. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right in that 10th row, just put an eye. Again, if you need the embroidery, absolutely fine. Now's the time to embroidery your eyes. Okay. I like the green eye on the lighter green. So now I want you to skip 7, 1 or 10, depending on how far apart you want the eyes, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you want to keep it on the same row so they're uniform, okay? There. Now, look at how adorable these are. And here's my dark green. And I do have the colors that I used for the greens Hobby Lobby yarn, and this one's called Forest. And I'm loving this yarn. It's also Hobby Lobby yarn, and it's called Key Lime. Okay. So now you got your 2 baby octopuses. You have to turn one inside out. Okay. Now you have the eyes do not have to line up when you put them inside each other, one inside the other. I personally like the eyes to be close. They don't have to be perfect, but I do like them close. So once he's turned inside out, you put him right up in there. And it's not so much the eyes, but you need his legs to line up, because that's what we're going to be sewing together. Okay. So I'm not going to do this whole one, but let me show you how to hook these together. All right. Put your hook back on your yarn. Now, the next stitch where you're at, the center one. So for the one that's on top, you'll be using just the inside loop of each chain, the loop that's farthest away from you. So you'll put that on. And then when you bring up your middle one, you'll be using the loop that is closer to you. See? That way, the point of this is so you don't see the stitches. All right, and pull through, and it's just slip stitches. And you do that for every stitch. The chain that's farthest away, and then you will use the chain that is closest. And you just go around your entire project of hooking them together. And by doing this, because you're using the 2 inside parts of the stitch, you're not going to see your join. That was the whole point of this. Okay. So you use the farthest away and the one closer. Farthest away. And the one closer. And it's just a slip stitch, just like that. All right. And just go all the way around. Okay. Very easy. Just please take your time, because this is not the part you want really to be sloppy, because when they flip their octopus in and out, you only want them to see the one color, right? But that is how you do that. All right. And then the only other thing that I want to show you is the mouth. So you have to pick which one you want to be happy. And when it's all embroidered, this is what it looks like. I forgot to show you. See how nice and neat it is? Seamless. Don't matter, you pick whatever one you want to be happy. Or you can, you know, there's no rule to this. You can make both faces happy if you want. You can make one a surprise to, oh look, you can do whatever you want. But what I do recommend for the faces is when you're doing it, come up from the top and slip your needle down to the front of the forehead. Hang on, it will make sense to you in a minute. You go back in that same loop, same hole. Then you pick where you want the mouth to start for the, I'm going to do the happy. And I'm going to pick 2 spaces down from the eye. Okay. Just pull it enough where that disappears. So since I want my V to end here, and I want it to go, well, maybe I want it over here. So the same thing. I go in, then where I planned the point to be, just like that. Look at that. And then you can go in that same space then make them happy. And then you just reverse it to do whatever expression you want for the other side. But that is how you make these beautiful, easy, fun, child-friendly, reversible octopuses. And there's absolutely no sewing. Well, thank you so much for following our tutorials and giving us all the love that we've been getting with everybody. My name is Ronnie, and I work very close with Maggie and Lauren to bring you really fun crochet tutorials. If you like our video, can you please hit that like button at the bottom? And we greatly appreciate if you subscribe to our channel. And we're also on YouTube. And, well, that's maybe where you found us, YouTube. We're also on Facebook under WIP for Work in Progress and Chain. So come find us. Come join our group. We're over 250 people on our Facebook, and we're doing great on our subscribers. So come join us, and if there's a tutorial that you want, let us know. We will do our very best to make it happen. Till next time, everybody, stay safe.